In Mexico's most secure prison, the man walking around is no ordinary person but the world's biggest and most dangerous drug smuggler, El Chapo. Special CCTV cameras are installed in his cell to keep 24-hour watch over him. His cell has no skylight or window, only a shower area in the corner. The interesting thing is that despite such security and constant surveillance, El Chapo walks toward the shower area and then is never seen again by security staff. Half an hour later, when they became suspicious, they entered the cell, but the world's biggest drug smuggler had escaped. Where and how did he escape? Let's take a look at El Chapo's life and his escape. El Chapo was born in 1957 in a small Mexican town, Badiraguado. El Chapo's real name is Joaquín Guzmán, but later he gave himself the name El Chapo. His drug trading habit was inherited. His father, himself a small-time drug dealer, kicked him out of the house at a young age. With no job to survive and nothing found despite searching, he too started selling drugs. At just 15 years old, he began growing drugs himself, choosing remote areas to grow marijuana. Gradually, his drug trade grew so much that major Mexican drug dealers wanted him in their gangs. In the 1970s, he joined a drug trading gang called El Güero Palma, where he oversaw drug smuggling. He was so strict in his work that if any delivery was late or even a small mistake occurred, he would kill the dealer. In 1980, he joined the gang of the most famous drug dealer at the time, El Padrino Gallardo, which was Mexico's largest drug trade gang. In this gang too, El Chapo was given responsibility for logistics and drug shipments, keeping watch over drugs coming from Colombia to Mexico. But in 1989, the gang leader Gallardo was caught by agencies and the gang broke up. Taking advantage of the situation, El Chapo formed his own gang, naming it the Sinaloa cartel. At that time, drugs entered America through two routes, most via the Caribbean and the other through Mexican borders. American agencies focused heavily on the Caribbean route, capturing many drug dealers and gangs. El Chapo took advantage of this, using different channels to send drugs into the USA. He cultivated many drugs, but methamphetamine, heroin, ecstasy, cocaine, and marijuana gave him the most profit, so he focused on these. Smuggling drugs into the USA was not easy, so he used clever tricks, initially smuggling low-odor drugs like cocaine hidden inside fire extinguishers, chili pepper cans, or car rims, undetectable even to sniffer dogs. But the problem was that other drugs couldn't be smuggled this way, so he adopted the method that became his trademark: tunnels. He invested millions of dollars hiring experts to build underground tunnels with full electricity and ventilation systems, smuggling drugs into the USA through them. In 1990, FBI officers were stunned to find his first tunnel, 300 feet long, fully powered, leading into a house that served as his safe house and emergency escape route. Knowing all the rules of the business, he evaded capture despite countless efforts. In November 2010, another tunnel was found in Otay Mesa with similar facilities, plus a rail system for debris removal during construction and later drug transport. In 2012 in Tijuana and in 2013 again in Otay Mesa, more tunnels were found. His skill earned him and his gang the title King of Tunnels. He built tunnels so deep that even ground-penetrating radar couldn't detect them, hiding entrances cleverly under bathtubs or toilets. Before building, he carefully chose locations, mostly at the US-Mexico border in California's Otay Mesa for 3 reasons. It was close to major transport hubs Tijuana and San Diego, making transport to agents easy. It was an industrial area where heavy factory machinery noise masked digging sounds, and its soil, soft due to proximity to the sea, yet supported by nearby mountains, made tunneling easy and stable. On June 19, 1993, Mexican authorities finally caught El Chapo, sentencing him to 20 years in prison, but prison became his office. He bribed staff for all comforts and arranged business meetings to keep operations running. In 2001, after a Supreme Court of Mexico ruling made prisoner transfers between the US and Mexico easier, El Chapo knew the US government would demand his extradition for drug smuggling, from which escape would be near impossible, so he planned his first prison break. He bribed guards $200,000 and escaped hidden inside a laundry basket. For the next 13 years, he continued his tunnels, drug trade, and other crimes without being caught, tormenting the governments of both the US and Mexico. After 13 years, Mexican agencies learned his exact location and raided his home. Again, he had escape plans, slipping into a secret tunnel under his bathroom bathtub, but authorities caught him before he could get far. He was sent to Mexico's most secure prison, Altiplano Maximum Security Prison, under special watch. But just 1 year year later, on July 11th, 2015, while walking in his cell at night, he was last seen at 8:50 p.m. near the shower area, the only spot out of camera view. About half an hour later, when he wasn't seen on camera, guards opened the lockup to inspect, but El Chapo was gone. He had cleverly enlarged the shower drain into a tunnel connected to a bigger tunnel 1 kilometer away at a nearby construction site. This tunnel, 33 feet underground and 5 feet 7 inches wide, was big enough for a person to pass easily, but this time his freedom was short-lived. On January 8th, 2016, Mexican Marines attacked his safe house in Los Mochis, and after heavy resistance, he was captured again. This time, the US government didn't want to take risks, so in 2017, the Mexican government extradited him to the USA, where he is serving a life sentence in Colorado's Supermax prison. But the truth is, no matter how much security there is, the US government still fears El Chapo might escape again.